Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we will be diving into one of the fundamental data structures in Java, that is ArrayList. Whether you are a beginner or looking to refresh your skills, this tutorial will guide you through everything you need to know about Java ArrayLists. Let's start with the basics. What is an ArrayList? An ArrayList is a dynamic array in Java, which means it can grow or shrink in size during runtime. That is, if you are using a regular array, you need to define its size in advance so that the compiler knows in advance that this much elements will be present inside this data structure. Let's start with the implementation. First of all, we need to import the ArrayList package, that is java.util.arraylist. ArrayList is an implementation class, whereas the list is the interface. Okay, then we will create an array list of, let's say, type integer. So what is the syntax? That is array list type integer. Let's call it array, simply let's call this simply as a list, and then we will call the constructor, that is new array list. We generally define, that is the type of the class or object. We use the interface instead of the implementation class itself. So we will use list here, and that provides, you can use interfaces in dependency injection, and that is a separate topic. Then we will add some elements in our array list, and the syntax to add elements is list dot add element. Now the array list, the implementation itself handle the addition of elements one by one. That is, the first element will be added at the 0th index, second element will be added at the first index. Let's also print the size of the array list so far one by one. System dot out dot print line say list dot size, list dot size. Again we will do this for third element. Then let's add another element. Let's say 111. Let's execute our program. Okay, we also need to import the list interface, java.util.list. As you can see, the size is 123. Let's also add some messages. Size, this is also size. Let's again execute the program. Okay, as you can see, as we are adding elements in the list, the size is also automatically increasing. Now let's suppose we want to get the element at the first index. How will we do that? The syntax to get element at a specific index is list dot get 1. That is, give me the element present at the first index. Let's system.out.println. Okay, we can simply do this and do this. Okay, element at first index is this element. Okay, let's see what do we get. We should get 11. Okay, these are some extra parentheses that we don't want. Okay, that is the problem with online editors. Element at first index is 11. What if we try to get an element that is greater than the, let's suppose we want to get an element at the index 5. As you can see, the size of our list is 3. If we try to get an element at the index that is greater than the size of the element, that is greater than equal to the size of the list, we will get an error. Let's see, get a runtime error, out of index error, something like that. Okay, out of bounds. Okay, that's good. Let's suppose we want to remove an element at a specific index. Let's suppose we want to remove the first index. To remove the element at a specific index, we will use the remove method and we will provide the index at which we want to remove the element. The element which we want to remove at a specific index. Let's suppose 0, and another do system out dot print line and list dot remove. Okay, then we can check the size of the list once again. Now the size will be 2. Yes, the size is 2. The thing is that when you remove any element at any index, the array list will automatically do rearrangement of the elements, and in our current example we have removed element present at the 0th index. Now the array list will make the element present at the first index as the element at 0th index, and so on. That is, whenever an element at nth index is removed, the array list is shifted one index back. That is, element at nth index which was removed will be replaced by element present at the nth plus 1 index. Then nth n plus 1th index will be replaced by n plus 2th index, and so on. Okay, we have covered add, we have covered get, we have covered remove. What if we want to replace the value of an element at a specific index? How do we do that? For that, we can use the set method. That is, set. We will pass the index at which we want to replace the element. Then we will provide the value which we want to replace with the current element at that index. Let's say we want to replace the value 111 with 25 at first index. Okay. Then we can check the value at that specific index. This will give us the confirmation that whether the value is replaced or not. List dot get first index, because there are two elements, and in Java or compiled languages indexes start with 0. Okay, the element at the first index is 25. Earlier it was 1111, but we have replaced that element with 25. Okay, we have already covered remove, and now our elements are good. Our array list is complete. Now we want to perform some kind of operation on our array list. How we will do that? That is, we want to iterate over all of the elements present in the list. For that, we will use the good old loop, for loop. Let me just type it here only. For int I is less than list dot size plus plus. We can do system dot out dot print, and we will do list dot get of I. Then we will add some space at the end of the current element. Then we will run. Again, this is a typo. Run. Okay. As you can see, we have 11 and 25 in our array list. What if we want to we don't have any operations related to indexes. That is, we are not using the indices anywhere. In some cases, we do need to use the indices, but in our case, we are not using indices, so we can use a modified loop. That is the enhanced for each loop. That is int value in the list. Simply print that value. Okay, see we then we can we can simply print that value. You don't need to keep track of indices or do any handling management thing like that. Okay, we need to do one system.out.println to add an extra line. Okay, both of the loops are working fine. Now a lot of programmers prefer not to use good old for loops. They want to use streams. How can we use streams here? Okay, so for that we can always create a stream, then map the elements, or you can simply use a for each. So for how can we do that? That is list.for each, then let's say element, that is a lambda function here, then system.out.println, that is element here. Let's see, instead we will be using print here. Then again we need to add a system.out.println above our current for loop. Okay, let's see what happens. As you can see, there are three implementations of for loop that you can use to iterate over all of the elements present inside the array list. One is using index based loop. Third is value based loop if you don't want to do any operation using indices. And the third one is using the for each loop and lambda function. That's it, and this is the way array lists are used in real life as well. If you want to dig deeper, I can create another tutorial, but that depends upon are you happy with the current tutorial or not. And if you want a real life implementation of any large scale system, like if you want to know in large scale systems how is array list used or what is the part of the array lists in the code, I'll be happy to explain that. Thank you for watching.